Ryan to root for Claressa. I really am. I ain't gonna lie. I got a little bothered when her cousin did an interview. Now, I allowed the interview because I'm messy. I'm a messy bitch like that. You feel me? I can't help who I am. But I did feel just a little bit sorry for Claressa when her cousin Shalita came on my platform and literally, I said, what are people saying that you dragging her down?
What if everything you once stood up for was never truly loyalty in the first place? According to Tasha K., this wasn't ever about gossip or hearsay. It was about documented proof that required weeks of silent verification conducted away from cameras, away from social media feeds, and far removed from the public chatter. She insists that the reality didn't surface all at once. Instead, it emerged piece by piece, conflicting dates that failed to match up, identical voice recordings sent to multiple women, and the same tired excuses repackaged and delivered to fresh message threads. Meanwhile, as Claressa Shields projected confidence, publicly posting images of strength, sharing affectionate messages, and broadcasting her belief in the relationship privately, the groundwork was already giving way. Tasha K alleges that people attempted to warn her on several occasions. But Claressa was operating from a place of love and trust, defending a devotion that, as it turns out, wasn't genuine. Because based on what was uncovered, Papoose wasn't managing just one hidden affair. He was orchestrating an entire system. 5 women, 5 distinct functions, one for emotional comfort, another kept discreet, one from his past that had never truly concluded, another more recent, and one held in reserve as a potential future prospect. This wasn't disorder, it was carefully organized. And Claressa, whether she was aware of it or not, was positioned inside something that was never meant to safeguard her. The pivotal moment that broke everything didn't unfold on Lynette, happened quietly on Christmas Day. The holiday she believed belonged exclusively to them had already been claimed elsewhere. That's when the unraveling commenced. Not through tears, not in front of cameras, but through a slow, painful awakening. Because when love turns out to be a balancing act, the real question isn't about who deceived whom first, it's about who chooses to remain once the truth can no longer be deniable.
But on this Christmas with him, this very special Christmas with him, yeah. Apparently, Claressa spent Christmas alone in the Louis Vuitton store, racking up about $30,000 in bills this Christmas. Okay, Papoose was with his family.
Tasha K didn't present this story as gossip or entertainment. She presented it as something she believed had been carefully verified. According to her, these weren't simply allegations floating around online, they were claims backed by information she spent time reviewing behind the scenes. She maintained that this wasn't a story she rushed to discuss. Instead, she allegedly took time to examine details privately, compare timelines, and confirm names before speaking publicly. And once all the pieces were placed together, she said the picture that emerged wasn't merely a complicated romance. It appeared far more intentional. According to Tasha, several people had attempted to alert Claressa Shields long before the public began questioning the relationship. These warnings reportedly weren't loud or public. They came through private conversations, subtle concerns, and unanswered questions that continued to surface. But Tasha suggested that Claressa was deeply invested emotionally. And when emotions are involved, warning signs can easily be overlooked. She believed in the commitment being shown to her. She believed the reassurances she received. Most importantly, she trusted the version of events that convinced her she held a special place in his life. What she allegedly didn't know at the time was that the loyalty she believed in wasn't being broken in a single instance. It was reportedly being spread across multiple relationships. The first major revelation dramatically changed the conversation. According to Tasha K., this wasn't about one additional woman, one mistake, or even one hidden relationship. She claimed that Papoose was involved with 5 different women at the same time, with each person allegedly serving a separate role. One woman reportedly provided emotional support, someone he regularly leaned on and confided in. Another relationship was allegedly kept intentionally private, and away from public attention. There was also said to be a past relationship that never completely ended, leaving old ties still intact. Tasha further alleged there was a newer romantic connection that remained active, as well as another woman who was kept close as a possible future partner present enough to remain available, yet distant enough to avoid clear definition. Rather than describing the situation as disorganized, Tasha portrayed it as highly structured. In her view, this wasn't random behavior but a carefully maintained arrangement in which every individual had a specific role. What made the allegations difficult for some people to dismiss, according to Tasha, wasn't dramatic screenshots or leaked photographs. It was the recurring similarities in the details. She pointed to timelines that overlapped, travel schedules that appeared inconsistent, and voice messages that allegedly sounded nearly identical despite being sent to different women. Even the explanations reportedly followed familiar patterns: work commitments, family obligations, and scheduling issues. The reasons changed very little. Only the recipients allegedly changed. As these repeated patterns became more noticeable, Tasha argued that the public image of loyalty looked very different behind closed doors. Publicly, Claressa Shields appeared confident and composed. She continued sharing strength and positivity online. From the outside, she seemed unaffected, but Tasha claimed that privately, the situation was much more complicated. According to her, Claressa had reportedly already seen certain messages, perhaps not enough to know the full story, but enough to raise doubts. Instead of immediately confronting everything, she allegedly searched for explanations and alternative interpretations, hoping what she had seen didn't reflect the reality of her relationship. That led many observers to ask a difficult question: was Claressa truly the primary partner, or was she simply the most visible one?
So I felt sorry for Claressa when she was in there blowing a bag, $30,000, and then she had to take the bag to Papoose and acted as if Papoose gave her the bag.
Give me nothing from Louis for real. I don't know why you did that, but you didn't have to.
Christmas.
According to this moment, that particular moment carried significance because it was never really about a handbag or a gift. In her view, it reflected a pattern of behavior: a hesitation, a misstep, a brief crack in the carefully presented image. Sometimes, she argued, small details expose truths that larger declarations attempt to conceal. Tasha maintained that the defining moment in the story wasn't a public confrontation or an online dispute. She claimed it happened quietly during Christmas. According to her, Claressa spent the holiday alone after being told that family responsibilities required Papoose's attention. However, Tasha alleged that the reality was far different. She claimed Papoose was not alone or unavailable, but was instead spending time with Remy Ma and his daughter. For Tasha, that distinction changed the entire narrative. As she described it, the holiday Claressa believed belonged to the relationship had already been committed elsewhere. What allegedly made the situation more painful wasn't simply the explanation itself, but what it represented. Claressa was reportedly told that family came first, yet she was never fully integrated into that family dynamic. Despite these alleged issues behind closed doors, the public image remained largely unchanged. Claressa continued sharing photos, supportive messages, and relationship content online. To outside observers, the relationship appeared secure, united, and stable. Yet Tasha claimed the private reality looked very different. According to her, emotional distance had already begun to emerge. Future discussions reportedly lacked clarity, and important decisions were allegedly being made without Claressa's involvement. Tasha framed the situation as one person publicly building relationship content while the other was privately preparing an exit. When Tasha used the phrase collapse, she made it clear that she was not referring to a public breakdown. There were no emotional videos, dramatic scenes, or visible tears. Instead, she described something far more internal: the collapse of trust, certainty, and the reality Claressa believed she was living. Tasha argued that realizations of this kind can be even more difficult to recover from because they force someone to reevaluate everything they previously defended. At the same time, Tasha insisted she was not portraying Claressa as a villain or questioning her strength. Instead, she said she was exposing what she viewed as a larger pattern situations in which powerful men maintain emotional connections with multiple women while presenting a carefully controlled public image. In Tasha's telling, Claressa was not weak. She was simply operating with incomplete information. As public discussion intensified, Tasha noted that Papoose did not respond with lengthy explanations or detailed denials. According to her, his public engagement remained minimal, consisting only of brief statements and limited interaction. Tasha interpreted that silence as intentional rather than accidental. In her view, when someone is managing multiple narratives, speaking too much creates risk because contradictions become easier to expose. At that point, the discussion shifted. The issue was no longer whether multiple relationships allegedly existed, but how long such an arrangement may have been operating. According to Tasha's account, every woman allegedly occupied a different emotional position, and the system only worked if those worlds never overlapped. Conflicting dates, travel schedules, and limited visibility were described not as coincidences, but as carefully managed circumstances. Tasha suggested that Claressa's particular role was visibility. She was the public face of stability, the relationship that projected confidence and legitimacy to the outside world. As long as that image remained intact, the broader structure remained protected. Tasha further argued that Claressa did more than simply trust. She actively defended that trust. When concerns surfaced, she reportedly searched for context. When inconsistencies appeared, she sought explanations. And when timelines seemed questionable, she believed there had to be information she had not yet seen. Tasha emphasized that this behavior should not be viewed as weakness, but rather as emotional investment colliding with difficult realities. Accepting the truth, she argued, would have required accepting something far more painful, that the loyalty being defended may never have been exclusive. And once that realization begins, everything else starts to unravel. Later in the discussion, Tasha returned to what initially appeared to be an insignificant momentous brief pause, a comment, a subtle slip. But in her view, seemingly minor moments can become the most revealing because they often occur before anyone has time to carefully manage the narrative.
LV store on Christmas because she couldn't attend the family gatherings, even though she says she's family. And she says that Papoose is divorcing Remy, even though the last time I saw, I don't know if things are being done, is that Remy withdrew from that divorce.
This wasn't gossip. This situation had moved far beyond ordinary celebrity gossip. In her view, the real issue wasn't just rumors, it was the pressure created by unresolved circumstances. She argued that if divorce proceedings were still unfinished, then nothing had truly been settled. There were no clear endings and no genuine new beginnings, only people left in emotional uncertainty. Tasha suggested that the divorce narrative wasn't really about legal paperwork. Instead, she claimed it represented leverage. As long as things remained unresolved, no one was forced to provide complete answers, and no one had to bring the story to a final conclusion. In her opinion, uncertainty kept options open, delayed reactions, and allowed different narratives to exist at the same time. While all of this was allegedly unfolding behind the scenes, Claressa's shields continued to appear composed in public. There were no emotional social media posts, no public outbursts, and no lengthy accusations. From the outside, she seemed confident and unaffected. However, Tasha claimed that privately, the emotional pressure was increasing. She described Claressa as someone caught between her personal feelings and the public image she had already defended. According to Tasha, once a person strongly supports a relationship in public, changing that position can become extremely difficult. Sometimes embarrassment and pride keep people silent even longer than heartbreak does. Tasha also pointed to what she described as a common pattern involving strong and successful women. Often, she argued, people assume the strongest person in the room can handle anything. Because of that, few people stop to ask whether that person is struggling. Strength may hide pain, but it doesn't eliminate it. As speculation continued online, another thing became impossible to ignore: the silence. There were no detailed rebuttals, no timeline corrections, and no public evidence presented to challenge the allegations. Tasha interpreted that